So what's up, guys? First of all, I just want to thank you guys so much for helping me reach more than 3,000 subscribers here on YouTube. I'm so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. And shameless plug, if you're watching, you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you did subscribe. That would just make my day. So let's just get on into this episode. Spaleb is continuing, and I know most of us completely think that's gross. The only thing that I could offer, like this vibe of positivity, or this little bit of positivity that I think will come out of this, or positive thought. What am I saying? I just think that this is a fling and it's not going to last long. And I really do think that Toby and Spencer will be together in the end. At least that's what's going to happen in my dreams. So anyway, Spencer was so busy getting busy the other day that she totally missed the new Sinister A text, which I don't think they're sinister because they have ridiculous emojis. Thumbs up if you think those emojis are absolutely ridiculous, because you know that I do. So when A texts back, this is a really interesting part of this episode, is that Hannah is texting to this A. Now, we all know that, I don't know if the girls ever responded to the old A, but this person never texted back. But Hannah texts this A, and this A texts back and says, when she asks, like, do we know you? Do you know me? And they're like, yes. So, okay, I'll be completely honest. I'm not in love with the fact that we're dealing with yet another A here, but it's obvious that we are, because in the book series, there's more than one A. So at this point, you can go ahead and tell me who you think A is down in the comments. Obviously, if they're making someone look like A, which they've done with Ezra, then it's not A, because I think we're all smart enough to figure out that those are total red herrings, and the same red herrings that we've had before. So we do have a big red herring in this episode, and that is Byron, which is annoying because we all know that Byron has been a major red herring in the past. Now, he's never really been a main A suspect or one of the A's, but he's definitely been super shady, and we know he does have a thing for younger girls because he had that affair with the student. College student, but still. You know, I understand that shows want to throw out red herrings, but I don't understand how they want to repeat. They have a big cast, and they have a lot of new cast members, so I don't feel like it's necessary to keep grabbing onto the same 2 or 3 people and making them look suspicious when we all know that they're not gonna end up being A. So I don't think Byron is A. I do think there's something going on with him, and I think they're going to explain it. I just think there's a whole lot of hype around it, just like there was a whole lot of hype about Emily's health scare, and I think in the same way they're going to explain in a couple episodes what's up with Byron, and it's not going to be a big deal, and it's not going to be that he's A or anything like that. So A texts a pic of a golf club, a 9-iron, hinting that this was the weapon used to kill Cece, but it's kind of confusing because I guess her neck was broken with this, but wasn't she strangled? I feel like there's conflicting messages in season 6B about how she really died. I mean, all we know is that she didn't kill herself, that she was dead when she was thrown off the bell tower, so I'm not really sure there. So Ezra is not in this episode, which makes me sad because I love Ezra. He's run away because, well, number one, he's dealing with a huge tragedy and he's having a breakdown, which, you know, that can happen, sadly. And secondly, the girls pretty much said that he was the killer, and he doesn't want to have to deal with that crap, so I really don't blame him. What I think is interesting is that Hannah doesn't really have a wedding date yet, and I also think that that relationship's going to fall apart. So I don't know if all the old ships are going to get back together, but I really don't think the new ones are going to last. And I just think that was kind of hinting at the fact that this one's not going to actually happen. So Toby has a new girlfriend. We're introduced to Yvonne in this episode. Don't know much about her yet. For all we know, she could be completely crazy and on A's team. But I think that it's really a positive thing for him because Spencer's obviously moved on with her life. And I'm glad to see that he's moved on with his. And so he has bought a ring, and she's wearing a ring, but it's not on the right finger, so I guess that's a different ring. So we are supposed to assume that they're going to get engaged, but they haven't yet. Of course, A is like taunting Spencer, saying like, you weren't good enough for a ring, whatever. Like I said, I think they'll end up together in the end. But we find out that he's buying this house, or building this house for her, which I think is kind of strange because how long has he known her? I don't know. I always assumed when I saw the house and knew that he was building it that at the end of the series it was going to be the house that he moved into with Spencer because they're going to get back together, but a girl can dream, right? So I just think it's ridiculous that people still think that Ezra killed Charlotte. Like I've said before, I think we're all smart enough to know that that's a massive red herring. Thumbs up if you agree. And we all agree that he didn't do it. And I don't know. I just can't believe that's still in the story at all. So because of this, Arya steals Ezra's key from the coffee place, and She's going to go search his home to see if those golf clubs are there. Of course, she does find the 9 iron there, but no, he totally didn't do it. I mean, obviously, this is all just set up. So I just had to really laugh at like the pig emojis that are being sent by A and like the engagement ring emoji, because I mean the emojis on iPhone and Android are really silly, but these just take it to a new level and it makes me think I'm watching the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. Yeah, and also we have to take a moment to talk about the new A costume, which I'm definitely getting Disney Channel vibes from. I just feel like it's kind of beyond ridiculous, because if you saw a person in the mall or wherever in an old man's mask, regardless of what the rest of their uniform looked like, it would be so obvious that this person was wearing a costume, and I just don't feel like they could go unnoticed, which means to me that they would have more attention on them than if they just wore like a hat or something or a wig. I just feel like they're really drawing attention to themselves. However, in this show, no one seems to notice them as the creepy mailman and as the bellman. So I think it would be interesting to see what costumes A will appear in next. Put your guesses down below, because maybe we'll get like janitor A and plumber A and UPS A. To me, this is very silly and very childish, especially for a show that has transitioned 5 years into the future, trying to be more mature. So, more of this Byron Ezra red herring drama. Who was Byron talking to in the car? They want you to believe that it was A or it was Ezra. I don't believe it was either. Who do you think he was talking to? Again, I feel like whatever his drama is doesn't really have anything to do with what we're trying to get at or trying to figure out who Big A is. I just feel like it's another thing to distract us and to make us really forget who we're supposed to be looking at. And at this point, and with this show, how would we even know who to suspect? Because literally it could be Tippy the bird or Pigtunia. So, okay. So here's some more interesting stuff with Hannah, because she's been freaking out about getting rid of that footage of Aria, and she tells an attorney like she wants to come clean, and the attorney's like, no, I mean, you shouldn't tell anyone else. And the interesting thing is that there was like a backup of this videotape or footage, and it's gone missing, but her mom has helped her out and stole it for her. So take whatever you want from that. I don't know if that means that her mom is still doing criminal things, because yeah, that is kind of criminal, or if she's just like being an awesome mom and has her daughter's back. I don't feel like getting so involved in this stupid. To me, it's ridiculous about this footage of Aria and all this stuff, because I think that's a red herring and she had nothing to do with it, and it's just another distraction in the storyline, and I think it's ridiculous. I got major Beryl vibes when Spencer and Caleb were led to that trash can with the phone. Again, I just found that silly. It really aggravates me that we never got a resolution on what was in the barrel. I actually think Marlene addressed that either on Twitter or in a press interview, which is a whole other story, but you really should clear up everything on the show and not answer major questions elsewhere, because not everyone sees your interviews or your Twitter account. Anyway, I feel so much like we're redoing the show. We're using the same red herrings, the same kind of texts are going out. It's really like the same thing, and the best way I can explain this, it's like if Pretty Little Liars ended like 20 years ago and someone was like, you know, that show was really popular, let's bring it back and remake it, like they're remaking Ghostbusters, or like they remake Batman and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like someone has remade it at this point in season 6B, and they've used a lot of the same things, but they've changed them just a little bit, like a different A costume, and they've made the text more high-tech and stuff, but it's just a remake of what we've already seen, and that really disturbs me. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Because I just feel like so many of the things are being recycled that I don't really understand. If you don't have new ideas, why are we still making this show, you know? When we were doing our live chat, I do a live chat every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on my channel. Info is down below. Someone was saying, you know, and what I've heard this before, we should do a show from A's point of view. And I think that's such an excellent idea. Like, if they wanted to continue the show after the Charlotte reveal, then they should just have it like showing us how A gets around, how A is able to do everything and not be seen. I think that would be really compelling, totally new, and would really just draw the fans back in, even if the A was like someone stupid. Alright, so, and then we find out that someone has stolen the 9 iron? That's hard to say. I'm going to stop. But the golf club from Ezra's house, of course, like I said, I don't really get into those silly dramas of the show because I feel like they're very much distractions, and we've been through that before, definitely. And we kind of end on the person who is our new A taking off the grandpa mask and stuff in the back of a car. And the person looks really small, but I know that doesn't really mean anything because different crew members and stuff played A when they had the black hoodie before. So it'd be kind of cool to me if it was a guy, just because we, you know, Cece was our last A. But at this point, I don't really care. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope that it would be someone awesome, and I want to finish the show because of that, because I would just die if it was someone awesome and I stopped watching. But I'm not going to get caught up in it because chances are it won't be anyone amazing, but hey, you know. So again, if you have not been to one of the live shows, it's so much fun. We have them every Wednesday, and there's always so we do it for an hour, but they are so much fun that it seems like it just flies by and there's just never enough time. So I would love for you to be there so you can interact with me and share your theories with me. And I really appreciate you guys watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Big booty, but you got a big booty. Big booty, but you got a big booty.